Welcome to the flowerschool.com video library. I'm Leanne Kessler, Director of the Floral Design Institute, and today I'm here to share with you a lovely arrangement with winding callas. Built in an English trifle bowl, yes, from the kitchen. It's the perfect gift for Mother's Day or any day. Callas come in two sizes. The full-size callas that you often equate with Easter. They bloom in the springtime, they're white. And then there's the miniature callas that are available virtually year-round and in a number of different colors. Now in the Victorian language, the calla stands for magnificent beauty. And all you need to do is look at it and you'd have to agree. It is a truly magnificent beauty. Now this particular design takes a little pre-planning and preparation. I'm filming this in the morning, but I actually started last night before I went home. I took the callas that I'm going to use and I laid them out on my table. Yes, they're just laying here. They're not in water. And I let them dehydrate overnight. So it's been more than 12 hours. That way, as I go to work with them, they're easier to manipulate and mold. Then I'll recut them so that they rehydrate and they'll still last and last. Callas are an amazing, sturdy flower, but they're easier to work with. If you treat them roughly, let them do without water for several hours, and then you can mold them into any shape you want. The base mechanics for my arrangement are established with Aspidistra leaves. They're wonderful, long-lasting, leathery, and you can submerge them in water and they won't decay and don't damage the flowers. So they're very fabulous to work with. I like to start by removing the stem. You don't need the stem at all. And then this backbone is a little stiff. So I remove the lower thick part, just taking my knife, carving along. If I tear the leaf, it's okay, it won't show when I'm done. But my goal is to get this more pliable, much the way the top is. So again, just taking, removing the stem, and then going about 1/3 of the way up the leaf, scraping off that backbone. If you tear, I tore it right there, go ahead and just tear it. Doesn't matter. You can leave that, or you can cut it off. And repeat. So I'm taking off the stem and the lower backbone, and I repeat that across all the leaves. You can use 10 to 12 leaves. Again, if they split, don't worry about it. It's not going to show. Then you take each leaf and you overlap them, and that's why it doesn't matter. Put the tip across the end and staple it. Sometimes I'll staple it in 2 places just to make sure. Then go down, put the tip across. There's where I tore it. Just overlap it. And again, staple it. And down, take your tip, and just repeat that until all the leaves are stapled together into one continuous string. Once you have your strip all stapled together, then you just start by winding it. And I start at the bad end, not the tip end. So that's going to end up in the center. And I just roll it around on itself, just like I'm rolling up ribbon. And just keep rolling. You can see the tips flip up, but then as you come around, you tuck them back in. Keep them lined up. Tuck it back in. You don't have to worry about how tight or how loose. You just want to get it all wound in there. And then once it's wound, you just slide it right down into the bowl, let go, and it loosens up, fills in. Just kind of unwind it then, let it relax. Keep the tip tucked in. Then if you need to, you can always go back with an extra leaf or 2 and tuck it around the outside. But mine doesn't really need it. You can see how I could just slide it down in there, but it's not necessary. Instead, I just kind of go through, double check that the ends are on the inside. And I've got a little bit of space. If something sticks out funny, you can go through, give it a clip, make sure it's not going to poke out when you're done. Go through again, look at your twists, tighten the center a little more, loosen the edge a little more, and then when you're done, you just have a spiral right inside of the vase. Now, I just need to add water. I'm going to add a tiny bit. You'd actually want to fill the vase, but I want to be able to tip it forward and show you without dumping water as we work. So I'm just doing a little bit. When you do this on your own, you want to fill it up towards the top. Then, going back with your knife, you take each calla, give it a fresh cut so that it will drink, and then weave it between the leaves, rolling it around, letting its face tuck in, then repeat. And now, since there's water in here, they'll start rehydrating. You just keep weaving them between the leaves, wrapping them around. And the leaves help hold it all in place. Again. And as I wind them, keep them all winding in the same direction so that their heads will spin around, working in a full circular format in between the leaves and coming on around. I started on the outer edges, but I keep moving inward, coming in between, pulling towards the center. And they don't all have to be the exact same length. Some can be a little shorter, tucked down in, some a little longer. They can peek up and out. It's not like they absolutely have to be tucked down inside. You can see I've got them coming up over here, and then they lean on around. I can do a shorter one, more into the center, so I get some control right in there, tucking him on around. There we go. Turning his face so he looks the right direction. Then if I want to mold it just a little more, since they're already dehydrated, I can just run my finger along it, give it even greater curvature to slide down in between the leaves, rolling around. Get a cut. Same thing again, giving it a little more curvature, and sliding it into the leaves, rolling around. And as I work, coming in towards the center, I want to create it a little fuller, a little denser in that area. So I actually start overlapping some of the callas, feeding it in, then adjusting. I'm going to lift this so you can see how I'm tucking them together even. And then go back, add in more in this hole, maybe a little bit more here. But you want that nice full look in the center. So tucking them, cutting them a little shorter so they'll feed right into that center portion. And then overlapping until you get a beautiful winding calla arrangement. To mimic the winding that's inside the bowl and carry it up outside, we're going to use lily grass. And just give it a cut and then thread it down between, tucking it into the leaves, and just letting it hang there for a moment, and repeating down into the leaves. And again. Just staging them around, scattered between the callas, between the leaves. Then, once you have a few in here, bring it on around. You can tuck it back down into the leaves, winding it across. You could tie it to another. Sometimes they'll pop loose, but just go back, give it a twist. This one I'm just going to tie here, pulling it taut. Bring this across, tie it over here. Bring this one around, and tie it down, which will help it stay into place. Then another one, bringing it across. Maybe just tie it to the one right next to it. And I've got that one popping up a little bit, so tucking him down in. And going back with another leaf, And again, just letting them hang outward. Get several in, and then go back and tie them across. An arrangement like this with the callas will last more than a week. Many callas themselves are so sturdy and long-lasting, and then designing them in a vase, the trifle bowl that has so much water reservoir, is huge, perfect. And the mechanics of the winding leaves leaves ample room for the stems of the callas and water. So everything will just thrive and look beautiful. Then adding the grasses over the top just invites you to look down in and see that magnificent beauty of the individual callas. Now this design, so fun, so easy, but takes a little bit of practice, getting everything to wind just perfectly and stay where you want it, making sure that none of the calla stems poke out through the leaves. You want to keep them on the inside. So all you see is the beautiful Aspidistra through the vase. And then the winding grass over the top, heavy enough to be interest, but light enough to look in. Now for more creative inspiration and design technique, check out our website at flowerschool.com. If you have questions about callas, you can find them in our flower library. We also have a full-length DVD all about callas. If you can't find something, give us a call at 1-800-819-8089. We'll help you find it. If it's easier, use my personal email, Leanne, Leanne, at floraldesigninstitute.com. I can send you the links to the library, the links to the calla DVDs, and all the information you're looking for. But now, it's your turn. Gather up some callas, find the perfect vessel, have fun, and do something you love.